We
It's
are
our one thing.
muted. We've been muted this whole time.
I was saying that I was gonna recommend As Told by Ginger because it's like a fun cartoon where like the characters age, they change clothes, they have very realistic problems. It's just kind of like fun.
Yeah, it's chill. And then I was saying that I had a really nice day watching it because it's like cold outside and rainy and cloudy. It was the perfect, like, easy show to watch.
Yeah, and like sometimes you think like, oh my god, these people are being stupid, but then you're
Hmm
like, they're 12, so of course they're stupid.
Oh my God, but Miranda. Okay, actually, no, the Halloween episode. Oh, it's the same one. Miranda, like, wanting to be in the play. I totally felt for Miranda because she, like, vandalized that statue, and then everyone was really upset, and she was like, oh my God, why is it that big a deal? It was just supposed to be a joke. And then, but also Carl, like, summoning the dead and it actually working. Like, that was a plot twist I wasn't expecting at all.
Like if I went to that school
Uh-huh.
and I saw that somebody vandalized that statue, I would have thought that was so fucking hilarious. I don't know what
Right.
everybody else's
The
problem
principal
was.
was acting like they killed somebody.
Normally, Alien draws when we do our discussions,
Mm-hmm.
but she's all drawn out, so
I am.
we're going.
So yeah, I'm just gonna run around and do easy shit, even though I died, so I guess it wasn't that easy. I
Yeah.
love Miranda. I love her like evil laugh, and then they're like, okay, that's one interpretation for Glinda the Good Witch, and she's like laughing maniacally.
Miranda's so cool. I don't know what other people's problem with her is. And back to the holiday episode,
Uh-huh.
I also like when their dad shows up and he's like talking to Carl and he's like, "Do you want to get in?" And he's like,
Oh
"I
my
would, but
God.
my mom my mom warned me not to get into cars with
Dude,
strangers."
that was such a sick burn. I was like, Carl is incredible. I loved that so much. And even his dad was like, ouch, yeah, like, I can't even be mad at that. Like, you're completely right. I was so annoyed at Carl's dad. This is why I like
Yeah.
this show better than other cartoons, though, because I feel like they deal with things like her parents being divorced and stuff, like, in a way more mature way than other cartoons do.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's
Yeah.
actually like you can tell that Carl's hurt and like her dad feels guilty but also like doesn't care enough to like actually do anything. It's just like very
Yeah.
real.
Yeah, and then like he gives Carl those peanuts, and Carl's like, I have like
I
a severe
know.
peanut allergy, and he's like, okay, you just like suck it up, and it's like, no.
I know he was like, "Well, it's the thought that counts." And Carl's like, "Yeah, but I could also die." So, and then he's like, "Oh,
I had a coworker. No, she had a peanut allergy, and she was like saying she couldn't do the like morning truck because she couldn't
yeah."
touch the like nut stuff. And then I'm
Nut
like,
stuff.
okay,
Oh, speaking of, well, actually, I don't have a segue at all. The episode where Ginger is lab partners with Ian
yep,
and Darren like ruins it for her. I thought that was kind
yeah,
of unnecessary. Well, 'cause I thought
yeah,
like yeah, Ian was kind of using her for a good grade, but he still like gave her his jacket and they were still kind of becoming friends. Like I felt like it wasn't
yeah.
that malicious. Like Darren made it seem like Ian was like catfishing her or something, and it was literally just like he wanted a good grade.
That episode and the episode with the Sadie Hawkins dance, I think show
Mm-hmm.
like
Darren's mean
how
side.
Ginger's like yeah, like how Ginger's like a better friend than Darren is because
100%.
when Darren tells her like, "Oh, Ian's just using you," like she believed him right away.
Right away, she
Like,
didn't even
"You're my
question
friend."
it.
Yeah, she's like, "You're my friend and you wouldn't lie to me." But then like when she tells him about how Courtney was trying to invite Will and he's like,
Mm-hmm.
"You're just making it up because you're jealous of
I
me and Courtney." And
know.
like, okay.
Because actually, when Darren told her that, I fully expected her to be like, You're just making that up because you're jealous because she was saying like he had been really weird the
Yeah.
whole week, and then also like Ian gave her his jacket, so it was like harder to believe that he was making that up, you know? But then she
Yeah.
just right away she was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this. I've been so foolish." Like blah 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 blah. And then Darren was like, obviously Courtney, who's never spoken to me in my life, is in love with me and wants to take me to the dance, and you're just super jealous." Like if anything, she would be jealous
Yeah.
of Darren for going with Courtney. I just
And
thought that if Ginger and Ian had kept going the way they were, maybe they could have had something. Because he was
yeah.
being nice to her. And he wasn't that mean. Like, he was talking to his weird gym bro friend, and he was like, "Yeah, she's gonna be my A ticket." And then they did like the funniest handshake I've ever seen in my life. They were like, "I wish I
Yeah.
could do it for the stream," but they were like, like that. But like two of them. Imagine two of me doing that to each other. Oh, yeah, and then I love that Courtney has Courtneyisms. And then
Yeah.
she made the word gingerisms and she was like,
Yeah.
add that to my list of Courtneyisms.
Yeah. I love her. I've always loved her. She's like been one of, if not my favorite, like fictional character for like a long time.
If it was any other show and she found out that Will wasn't going to go to the dance with her, it would be like some depressing thing and they would have to like convince her to go to the dance anyway. Like if it was like Lizzie McGuire, that's what would happen.
Yeah.
But Courtney just like rallies on her own and she's like, "Yeah, I decided to come to the dance by myself." And I was like, "That's so cute." Like Courtney doesn't need anyone. She's just like
Yeah.
a one woman army.
When like
Uh-huh.
Darren's like, fucking around with all these girls, like
Oh my God.
feeling.
Mhm.
And then, well, like, if you want to do that, just like do what I do and just, not go steady with anybody. Just go out
Exactly.
like once a date. Like, he's like, yeah, I want to play the field, but I'm not gonna be like a dick about it. So like Darren in the episodes we watched isn't like that horrible yet, but it's
Mhm.
like what's coming. So I have to use that to defend Will because
Yeah.
I still kind of love Will even if he's not like that great.
Oh my God, it's a bear. I was gonna say, like, as the show goes on, I'm seeing less and less why they're even friends with Darren. I feel like it's just a proximity friendship because, like,
Yeah.
when they, in the last, like, few episodes, I guess, and he's, like, in military camp and he, like, can't do anything, and Miranda was like, Miranda can do everything. And like she's like, okay, we need to start a fire, and he's like, but I don't have matches, and she's like, you probably could have learned something at the camp. Like, I'm like, what are Darren's qualities? Like, what is he actually good at?
Yeah, I don't really know. I assume because they're like, oh, he's like nerdy that he's supposed to be smart, but he doesn't really
Yeah.
act that smart.
No, he
So,
doesn't.
and then even after he gets hot for a while, like other than Miranda, most of the school's
Mhm.
like, well, you're still like a nerd.
I know.
So
I know Miranda was just like blown away.
he doesn't really like get to be cool until like he gets to high school for some reason. Even though I
Yeah.
feel like if you're a nerd in middle school, 9 times out of 10 you're a nerd in high school too.
I'm trying to think cuz I was a nerd in middle school and but then my high school like it split. And so a lot of like new people
Yeah.
came who didn't know middle school Allison, and I was able to reinvent myself, and I was still a nerd, but I was like um, artsy, so I became like an artistic nerd. I had skills, unlike
Well,
Darren.
that's good.
Yeah,
I feel like that's my one issue with this show that like I think is a little unrealistic is they act more like high school is college.
yeah, they do.
And it's like, oh, people in high school don't care about the same things they do in middle school. And I'm like, I feel like they do.
They make it seem like everything changes and like everyone is so different, and it's like that's not like middle like freshman year is basically still middle school.
I think part of the issue might be because like Nickelodeon was gonna cancel them or
Oh
something.
yeah.
So they were like, we want to tell the rest of our story, and now we're rushed. But
Yeah, so they had to
that's
like
the only like thing I can or like thing that makes sense to me because like the rest of the show is so good. Like I like how the high school episodes is one of the few like shows with high schoolers that doesn't make high school seem like it's the greatest thing ever.
right?
So like I really like that because I'm like I don't know, I feel like my life as an adult is better than it was in high
I
school.
completely agree. Even when I was in high school, like our teachers would be like, "These are the best years of your lives." I was like, "What are you talking about?" Like, this is horrible. I can't even like eat food when I want to eat food. Like, I can't even go poop without asking permission. How is this the best years of my life? I only had one teacher who was like, "Oh my God, no, your lives right now are trash." Because people would also act like being a teenager is when you're like the cutest. And like my teacher was like, all of you are like caterpillars right now. Like, you're really weird to look at. And it won't be until you're in your mid 20s that you'll be butterflies. Oh my God. And the Seal Girl episode, like Macy, I didn't realize when I was younger that Macy is the best character. Like, she's the most
Yeah.
unapologetic and she like does whatever she wants. And she like yelled at Ginger and she was like, "How dare you what did she say? Like reject Courtney
How dare you
Grippling?"
reject
Yeah. She's like, "Who do
Yeah.
you think you are?"
I also like in that episode when like numerous times Courtney's like, I don't even understand what I'm feeling
I know.
right
It kind of reminded me of Louise in Bob's Burgers when she's like, "I'm feeling sad, but for someone else. Is that a real thing?" And I feel like that was Courtney when she saw like their Seal Girl plan. She was like, Miranda, like, what am I feeling right now? Or when she was being rejected, and Miranda was like, "Usually people stop talking to the person and leave angrily," and Courtney was like, "Can do," and she like storms off.
and then she wants to try hugging at the end.
Yeah, she's like, "Why don't we ever hug?" And then Miranda was like, "Ew." Like, I love Miranda so much. And then Courtney hugs her and she's like, "Okay, that's enough of that." Oh my God. Courtney's amazing. Also, her talent show performance was a little bit creepy with everyone like holding up Courtney masks to their faces. And because it's like a
Yeah.
cartoon, oh my God, another bear just spawned. They love As Told by Ginger. But like because it's a cartoon, it just looked exactly like they like cut her face off and were wearing it.
When I was younger, I did like the song, but yeah, I
No,
agree. Like
I
it
like
was
the
a real like
song.
even as a kid, like I thought like that was a weird thing for a talent
Yeah.
show. As much as I love Courtney, I'm like, like in the the like school picture makeup episode,
Yes.
I like when they go into the bathroom after they take their pictures, and Courtney's like, I've seen worse, and then Ginger is like so
I
excited and
know.
acts like it was a compliment. She's like, "Oh my god, did you hear that? She's seen worse."
I know she was so excited that I was like rethinking it like is that actually a compliment? Like I'm not getting it. Like oh she's seen worse. Like that's really not very good. Cuz Courtney would tell you if it looked good. Courtney would be like, "Oh wow, you guys look great." But she was just like, "Well, I've seen
Yeah.
worse." Macy was
Oh
like,
yeah.
"I don't even recognize that hot mama." I was like, "You are so fucking funny." Like I love Macy. Macy's like my favorite character, I think.
Macy's definitely up there for me. I've always been biased against Courtney because she's so
Yeah.
great.
It is tough though because like Miranda and Courtney are also like so fantastic.
We didn't get a by Courtney because it was a Nickelodeon show, so and it was in the early 2000s. We
And
might get like a by Courtney if they made it today, but
yeah.
yeah, see, I've never I know that like that's been like a fan theory since like the show was on, but I never got the Courtney has a crush on her vibe.
Mhm.
I just think she's like just fascinated by her because like Courtney knows nothing about like what real
Yeah.
non-rich people do.
I know. I feel like she just decided like Ginger is my look into poor people life. I could see like
Yeah,
cuz at first when I was watching it like right after reading that I was like, "Oh, I totally see it. Like Courtney definitely has a crush on her." I don't remember what made me think that, but it was like I think it was like when she really wanted Ginger to come to the sleepover or something. And I was like, "Oh, I see why people thought this." But then like as the show goes on, I'm like, I think she's just
yeah,
fascinated by Ginger and how like weird she is. But not like she's not
yeah. I
actually
was gonna
weird,
say,
but she like thinks it's weird. She's like, "Oh my God,
yeah,
Ginger's friends with Dodie, but she's still like happy." Like, what is that about?
yeah. I was gonna say because Courtney, like we said earlier, of course we were muted, so
Oh
it doesn't
yeah.
matter.
Star, we were
But like
muted for
Courtney,
like 3 solid minutes.
until Ice King told us.
Yeah. Thank goodness for Ice King. We would have been muted the whole stream, you
But
know. Exactly. Who would we be if we just did things correctly? That would be dumb. Oh, we saw like more of Dodie's
but
mom this season, or this season, this like later half of the season. And I was like, dude,
yeah,
how do they stand her? Like, I don't understand how their dad like puts up with her.
Ginger's Bob's like that Joanne, what a firecracker.
Yeah, exactly. What a firecracker. Like, that's so nice. That is way nicer than what I would have said. Ginger's mom is so chill, like in the Camp Caprice episodes, I think it is, when like Jo Jody calls to talk about Hoodsy and
Yeah,
Ginger's mom is like, "Why don't you just go talk to him?" And she's like, "'Cause they're sleeping at your house." And she like realizes that Carl lied and she's just like totally covers for them. No, Carl and Hoodsy are so
yeah.
awesome. It's like amazing that Hoodsy stays that awesome when he has such a shitty mom.
Well, he's got a cool dad
Yeah,
though.
his dad is cool. And I feel like
I
Jody
can't
is
believe.
the kind of mom who like doesn't hang out with her son. She's like,
Yeah,
"You're a boy, I don't want to hang out with you."
and like I don't know why their dad married their mom, but
I have no idea. He could do so much better.
it's like the opposite of in Ginger's parents because I don't know why the hell Ginger's mom like ever
I
even dated
know.
their dad.
I want
Because
to
I'm like, she's so
know.
awesome,
She's
and he's
so
like such a
awesome.
fucking loser.
No, he's a complete loser. Like he's like when when I saw him for the first time or whatever and he was the Santa Claus, I was like, this is his job. Like this is what he's doing. Like come on. He's a
Yeah,
grown man and this is how he makes money. Like he's a father of two and this is what he's doing.
yeah. Although I will give their dad slight credit for like sassing Brandon because Brandon's kind of
Yes.
annoying.
I do hate Brandon. He was like, "Brandon, go away."
With
And then didn't Brandon throw like an egg at Hoodsy or something? I was like, in front of Santa Claus? Like, are you kidding? Oh my God, Star is so right. He said if it was today, he'd be an Uber driver. That is so real.
I like in the Blizzard episode when Courtney's singing that song
Yes.
and then Winston starts crying and
No.
she's like, "What the hell?" And then he's like, "My mom used to sing that song," and then she's like, "You made me lose my place," and then she starts crying.
Courtney is so awesome.
Oh,
Macy was like cracking me up when they were like snowed in for like 5 minutes, and she's like, "Do we have enough food?" Like, you're in a house, like you're gonna be fine.
how do you feel about Sasha?
So, I feel like I have kind of mixed feelings about him because it's like he's definitely like they drew him way cuter than like anyone else. but I felt like he was. And so, like, when I was a kid and I watched that, I was like, oh my God, like, Sasha, what a
Yeah.
cool name, what a cute guy. But I feel like he was so, like, needy and he was, like, kind of dramatic.
Yeah.
And
I
I
was gonna
just,
say,
yeah,
like, I find him really annoying.
yeah. I just always felt like Ginger was, like, putting him on this weird pedestal. I was like, he's really, like, not that great. And he's kind of, like, he just struck me as, like, fuck boy a little bit. Like, he knew that there was, like, that distance there. So he just, like, could do like the
Yeah.
smallest things and Ginger would be blown away. I didn't love his
Especially,
little sister. Like when she was like, "Oh my God,
yeah.
but if you get married, like you'll be my family." I was like, "They're 6 years old."
Like, he's like a dick to Courtney for like
Yeah.
hardly any reason. Like,
Yeah.
okay, she asked for some water. You apparently work there. So.
I he definitely gives the vibe that he like thinks he's like above it all. I was also gonna
But
say like in those camp episodes, like Ginger is just like I feel like the reason for all teenage fantasies or like they knew teenage fantasies because her like getting up and singing a song when like no one knew. I don't think people knew she could sing because I didn't remember her ever singing. And
no, I
I'm
think
just
that's
like,
the first time.
yeah. And it's like this is such like a Lizzie McGuire like teen girl moment. Like now I'm gonna sing about the boy that I like and he's here and he's gonna hear it. Like
Wasn't he wasn't even fucking interested until his like a 5-year-old sister's like, "Hey, quit being a dick."
I know.
Oh yeah, in the other episode, he's like telling her like, "Oh, like my little sister wants us to get married
Mhm.
someday," and that's like when Ginger's like, "Well, I have a boyfriend." And then he's like, "Well, why are you being weird? I just want to say hi." And it's like because you
You basically
are
just
being weird.
proposed. Oh, the men in Ginger's life are terrible. And then she has Dodie
Except
just giving her terrible advice at every turn.
when Miranda asked Ian to the dance,
Uh-huh.
and she's like, "Do you have a date to the dance yet?" And he's like, "No, but my dad says it's because I'm like ridiculously good looking." And then she's like, "Uh-huh, do you want to go with me?"
I forgot. Yeah, I love Ian. He's kind of like
And then,
a dummy, but it's endearing.
and then when they're at the dance, and he's like, "Are we actually gonna dance?" And then she's like, I spent a lot of money on this dress. I
I
don't want to ruin
know.
it by having fun."
That the dance episode was another one that I had to like fast forward a little bit, but I kind of want to go back and watch it because like one of the things I missed was like Hoodsy um deciding to be Macy's date because I missed that and then I saw the part where he's like checking into the dance and he's like, "Oh, mysterious comma man." And I was like, they're just gonna let him check in like that? Like
In that girl's defense, I will like say if that were me, I would be like, "Yeah, whatever."
no, same. I also would be like, yeah, definitely. Mystery comma man, you're in. Like, that's none of
Like,
my business. Like they don't pay me
yeah,
at all actually. So
you paid for your ticket. I don't care.
yeah. Mystery comma man. I thought that was so sweet though. I was like, "Aw, like maybe one day they'll be something."
Yeah, I think because I feel like that's when they kind of introduced like Hoodsie having a crush on her, and I'm like, they're so cute in that episode.
They are.
And
At that
then
point, I thought of you because I was like, I think this is one of the moments where we see how much Darren sucks.
I was watching the one with the science partners. I was like, I know in the dance episode, Darren's like such a fucking dick to Ginger,
Yeah.
and like this is basically the exact opposite of that. So it just kind of shows like he's like not a very good person.
I know, because it was so bad that, like, Star and I both thought that Ginger didn't believe him, and it was the other way around, because we
Yeah.
remembered there being, like, drama and unnecessary bullshit between
Um,
Ginger and Darren. Like, how, I still don't understand how he could think that, like, Courtney, who has
Courtney
never
would want to
talked
go
to
out with
him, would, like, send a letter. Oh, and I was gonna say this, like, I feel like Winston really fucked up because how could he have thought that that letter was for Darren? Like, he just gave it to him and he was like, "Here, this is for you." Like, look at him. Like, obviously, it's not.
Aaron's like, "Are you serious?" And he's like, "As serious as the queen."
That's so funny.
And then like when Winston's not there because like Blake's like, "No, you can't drive Courtney in the
I
dance,"
know.
which makes no fucking sense to me because they're going there
I
anyway.
know.
And then her like solution is to like walk
I
all the way
know.
across fucking town.
I really doubt that her mom would want her to walk anywhere when she like didn't even understand the concept of a sleepover and was like, "That's disgusting."
She thought the idea of going to like summer camp was like
Oh,
the
I
worst fucking
know. She was like, "Are you sure you want to do this? Like, this is so gross." Ew, and then I hated how like into being like a camp counselor or whatever Dodie was. I was like, "Of course you're that into this. Like, of course you are." I
yeah.
honestly was surprised when she decided to like help Macy. Like I thought she was just gonna let Macy like drown in the lake when she went to go rescue Oh yeah, 'cause and then you hear Miranda. Miranda's like yelling for help. Like literally she's yelling help.
Yeah.
But before that she was like, "Oh, a cramp." And Dodie's like, "It's probably just a wolf." I'm like, "Are you serious?" Like if there's anything a camp
Yeah.
counselor should know how to do, it's discern when someone is crying for help at a lake.
Speaking of that episode, I also like when they keep waking Courtney up in the middle of the night. She's like, "Oh my god, do you guys want me to be
I
ugly?"
know that part was so funny. Macy's just the best because like when her and Miranda were lab partners, and she's like trying to mix something in with like another chemical, and Miranda's like, "Not yet, it's too soon," and Macy's like, "Yes, ma'am." And then like later, Miranda's like upset about I think Ian giving Ginger his jacket. And then you just
Yeah.
see Macy in the corner, like, oop, acid spill. Like literally just spilling acid everywhere. Like,
And then
oh,
she got her boots ruined.
I know. Poor Miranda. I actually really
Totally
like
same
Chet.
here. I felt so bad for him that he had to go with Dodie to that dance.
I actually like when that happened. I was like, Chet could definitely do better. Like, Dodie is so mean to him, and also Dodie is Dodie. Like, come
Yeah.
on. I hope Chet doesn't let Dodie bully him into dating her. Does she?
And I could do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, I need to know.
During the show they don't go out, but in the epilogue they're sitting by each other at Ginger's like book reading and he's holding a kid that looks like Dodie, so they apparently
Oh
got
my
married.
god. So we'll do season 2, at least the first half next week.
Sounds good to
I'm
me.
excited. Thank you as always. I always have so much fun.
Me too. Okay. Bye
Bye.
everybody.